Word from the Lord. In Deuteronomy chapter 28, we're going to look at a couple of verses 1 and 2. And the Bible reads thus and says this: And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, and observe and do all his commandments, which I have commanded thee, this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above nations of the earth. Verse number 2. And all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. I want to talk just for a few moments about, God wants you to be blessed. It's God's desire that you be blessed. So many times as we go through obstacles of life, and sometimes we feel like that we are not actually blessed, but God's desire in his heart, he wants his children to be blessed. This is an interesting text, and because when I start thinking about blessing, we all get excited about blessings, but it's God's desire in his heart. He's wanting somebody like me to have full blessings. Now, if you look at verses 3 through 13, there's approximately 25 blessings in those verses that he wants to give to his children. But I've kind of grouped them off because, I like blessings. I want blessings. And now that I know God wants to bless me, I want to take advantage of all the blessings that God has in store for me. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is the personal blessings. That's group 1. In verse number 3, he says, blessed shalt thou be. Bless you. I'm going to bless you. So he starts off with the personal blessings. That's the number 1. Then in number 2 is the natural blessings. Verses 4 through 8. He deals with the fruit of your body, the fruit of the ground. He talks about being blessed going out and being blessed coming in, being blessed all around. Even your storehouse. I know you don't know anything about storehouse, but even your freezers will be filled up. So he's saying all the natural blessings I want you to have. That's number 2. The third one is spiritual blessings. Same group. He's talking to his children here. Spiritual blessings. In verse number 9, he said, I'm going to establish you as holy people for myself. I want you to be my children. I want you to be mine. See, I'm God's child, and I ought to expect some blessings. He's going to give them spiritual blessings. That's the third group. The fourth group is wealth blessing. Now, when I start talking about wealth blessing, I'm talking about, having money. Wealth blessing. In verse number 12, he said, thou shalt be a lender and not a borrower. In other words, if you're able to lend, it simply means that you got to have more than what you need in order to lend. That's a wealth blessing. He said, I want y'all to have some wealth. Be lenders rather than borrowers. And then, in this last one, this is my number 5, is power and position. Power and position. Blessings, power and position. What are you talking about? In verse number 13, he says, I want you to be above only and not beneath. I want you to be the head and not the tail. In other words, I want to put you in a position that other nations will look up to you. When you're God's child and you have all these blessings coming to you, other folk ought to look at you and say, it's something going on with you because you're all right. There's something going on with you because you're vibrant. It's the blessings of God. So if these groups of blessings come to you, accept these blessings, and it's God's desire that you have these blessings. Be blessed.